We're back here in the ESPN Esports Studios. Art Ocal and Jacob Wolf still with you. Time to talk some Fortnite, the Fortnite Champions Series this past weekend. NA East, Europe, NA West among the regions that found new champions. And coming in second place after coming in as the reigning champions were the TSM-dominated team, including Zexro, who joins us right now to break down all the action this past weekend. First of all, let's just, from 10,000 feet, just tell us what the weekend was like for you competing in the series and how you thought the team did.
Yeah, so going into it, I really expected a win, but we were 5 points short, so the other guys really did really well. There was a huge gap between second and third, so I'm really proud of how we did anyways, even though we didn't win.
It was interesting because your team really did have a very strong showing, right? 2 victory royales, a lot of eliminations in game number 1. What do you think it was like when you look back on your play in all 6 games? What do you take away from it?
So I think we had the second most kills, and we had 2 games where we got 0 points, which really messed us up, which was the biggest problem. We just weren't consistent.
I want to ask, you've done a few weeks now of the 4-man squad mode, playing it competitively. You had played in tournaments before that prior to the Champion Series, but how does it feel now? Does it feel does it look a lot more consistent now, and does it feel a lot more consistent for you, having done it now for several weeks?
Yeah, I feel as the more players on a team, the more consistent you'll be, because everyone's skill, it just goes up higher, there's less RNG and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely way more consistency, especially since we've been playing together for so long.
How much scrim time went into this weekend? And I know there's always a conversation about, how to best scrim in BR games like this. Can you just take us through what practice was like leading into the finals?
Our practice, we barely practiced, to be honest. We didn't practice as much as we should have, and we had a tournament in Sweden at DreamHack a week before, so that really messed us up as well. So we got no practice, but when we do practice, it's 6 to 11.
So that's usually the time frame in which you guys are practicing. But you knew that the DreamHack tournament was happening there. Do you think that perhaps maybe mentally the team would have been a little bit better had the tournaments not been aligned like that? Maybe if you had a little bit more time to prep?
Yeah, 100%, because we didn't get as much stream practice as other people.
So there were a lot of storylines going into this one, right? There was Team Liquid, hashtag defend the farm, a lot of people staking their claims in areas on the map. You guys had a distinctive plan, particularly with your drop zones. Can you just take us through what your game plans were, especially in the early game?
Yeah, so there were 4 weeks leading up to the finals, and we didn't have a drop spot the first 3 weeks. The 4th week, we found a spot that was really good. Other teams were fighting over it like frenzy, and then both teams ended up leaving. So then we went and took it, and it's really good, and we got it uncontested. So we were chilling.
Yeah, I mean, what goes into sort of the decision-making behind that? For someone who plays Fortnite at a highly competitive level like yourself, what goes into sort of choosing where you go and how you play around the map?
So pretty much, since it's a new map, all the good players got their spot, and you don't really pick any spots where there's really good players there, because they won't leave, even if you beat them. So you've kind of just find a really good spot with not many good players, and you just take it over.
How do you like the point system for the Fortnite Champion Series? Like I said, you guys won 2 victory royales. You guys were very aggressive, lots of eliminations. The team that won had 0 victory royales, but more eliminations and placements. So as a result, they came in top spot. What is your opinion on the point system, and would you change anything?
I think the point system is really good. The only thing I'd change is making placement every actual placement, not just a threshold for it. I think we would have won if that was a thing.
How so? What do you think would have been different? Obviously, you mentioned the 0 point games, but I mean, what do you think would have been different with a change of format that you're proposing?
So the last game we got 9th, and to get points you needed 8th. So if that wasn't a thing, like that happened many games. One game we get 5th, and for points it's 4th. It's always that one placement that could be super unlucky, and the other team gets it and you don't.
Young Calc is somebody who's very interesting. He's the only non-TSM player on your squad. They were mentioning on commentary how he has really matured a lot in the last few months. Talk about him as a teammate.
So, Calc has definitely changed a lot. On Twitter, he would bash everyone. He hasn't been as bad. He's So he went from farming impressions from like calling Australia saying they're all prisoners or something like that, very bad, you know. He pissed off all of them, to like saying nice things, you know, getting good impressions. He changed a lot. He's very like nice. He's not nearly as bad as he used to be.
So it's safe to say he's matured a lot.
Yeah, he's matured a lot.
You know, you're a young guy too, and obviously looking at Bugha and sort of his success as someone who's 16 years old and comes in and wins these millions of dollars and sort of gets the spotlight. You came in 9th at the Fortnite World Cup in duos, and also you've had an incredible year, as many young people in Fortnite have. Sort of walk me through how your life has changed coming up to this point and sort of the fame that you've gained over the last 2 or 3 years.
I mean, I don't think I've changed much. I feel like more of the people around me have changed a lot, but I've just been doing my thing. I don't think much has changed with me.
How motivated are you to grind this game? I know that it wavers at times with different patches or releases, but right now, as we speak today, how motivated are you to continue to compete in this game?
I mean, right now, not that motivated, but I mean, I still am, but just not like as much as I used to be when I first started.
So what keeps you going then? Is it simply the prize pools are undeniable?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I mean, there's nothing else to really play. There's nothing that really compares to this game that's as much fun.
What would
competitive, at least.
What would you play if not Fortnite? What game would interest you, if anything?
Definitely Counter-Strike.
Interesting.
Huh.
Like Fortnite is the new is like the new big esport out there, and Counter-Strike is the legacy. You know, the beautiful game, as many people in esports call it. Jacob, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I feel like we've heard a lot of people say like they go play Call of Duty or they go play Apex or something else, not Fortnite. It's interesting to hear you say Counter-Strike. Why do you love that game more than others?
When I first got into PC gaming, I started when Counter-Strike came out. As soon as it came out, I started playing that, and then I've kind of played that for like 5 years or whatever, and then went to Fortnite.
One thing I want to mention, this was actually a tweet from your teammate Macwood. He said, Xbox and PS4 have the same prize pool as PC. This must be a joke. Why is this such a big issue among PC Fortnite players?
Because PC, like console and mobile, they aren't like nearly as competitive. Like I've never even seen one of those tournaments before. PC is like the most competitive game mode, and we get the same as them, which is crazy.
Sure, I mean, that's indisputable. I think that everyone watching this would agree. But why is it such a sore point that there just happens to be prize pools that are equal to PC? Is it like, is it a status thing? Is it a pride thing? Like, what really bothers PC players about this?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I don't really care. I think they should get a prize pool. I just don't think it should be as much as PC because it's not as competitive.
Last question for you, Zexro, and thank you very much for joining us here. Fortnite World Cup, let's just assume that it's on the grand stage again, similar to Arthur Ashe Stadium. Is that something that you're working towards and a goal for 2020?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we had top 3 in the last World Cup, up like the first 4 games, and then didn't get any points the last 2 games. Really like messed up hard. We choked a lot. So I really don't want to do that again.
Zexro joining us here with ESPN Esports. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.